I want to talk about the tier 4 and tier 5 troops. I know the majority of my viewers are tier 5. Maybe this is not going to be interesting for this type of people, but still, I think this type of conversation maybe can actually born something very interesting. And there is still people who is actually tier 4. It's not everybody tier 5. I remember when I opened my tier 5, it was big pain. I'm not gonna lie, it was big pain just waiting. I even make one stream when I was going to open tier 5. And brother, I end up with the stream with no tier 5 open. In the next 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, people was non-stop spamming under my videos. It was like, yo, Burgas, tier 5 when? Oh, good old days, man. Good old days. And after this, I prepared like, I think 300 or 400 days with speed ups, and I opened tier 5. But yeah, this is some huge process that it actually cost a lot of time. And here's the thing: even that you're maybe going to be tier 4 player, you still there is a big chances to outperform a tier 5. And there is many cases you can actually do that. You can go with cavalry, striking tier 5 farms. You can even catch with cavalry AFK tier 5s. There is many ways. There is even traps. Back in the days, I even watched how one dude make a trap. At the beginning, I didn't know it was trap. And basically, what he was doing, there was a note in front of his castle, and I saw that a farming hero. And back in the days, the whole map was ours. There was just small piece of land where was the enemy, and I jump with my mages over this, and I actually didn't with my single cavalry march. I go close to this note, and the guy just come out and swarm my um my cavalry single legion. And this guy again, after he defeat me in this mine was actually infantry. He go inside his castle, and again he put the bite. It was crazy to watch that, how this happened, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is actually very smart. So there is many examples where the tier 4 actually beats tier 5, even though that, yeah, I know what is going to be in the comments below. By the way, let me know your personal opinion. This is one of the many cases where the tier 4 can outperform, but basically in every kingdom, I mean, I prepare one video about the Behemoths. Soon is going to be on my channel about the Behemoth buffs. And there I talk about numbers also, and how the Behemoths buffs can actually greatly support you. But in the same time, if you don't have numbers on the battlefield, you're dead in the water. And this is actually happen is with same power in the Alliance Wars, even though that the enemy may actually have more tier 5. And here's the thing with the tier 5, they have just better healing and survivability on the battlefield. So you just need the numbers. And I think this is one of the many cases where tier 4 can actually be tier 5. It's a just number game. And I learned that from one of the dudes that I played back in the days. The name was Yuta. And this bad boy, we was fighting against Jason. He was Jason Give. Maybe somebody going to know them. Maybe somebody know. He was in the DX, and then he say it's a number game, my man. It's a number game, and we end up actually uniting, blah blah blah, and the TFS was born back in the days. But I learned that the numbers is with huge importance in the Alliance Wars. You cannot just go outside. Even Nefisto. I mean, I fight Nefisto like 3 times, and 3 times I win against. It's just a number game. Doesn't actually matter how many troops you go, how many tier 5 millions troops you're going to have. It's just a team play, and I think people actually understand that. And this is maybe the main reason why people continue enjoying Call of Dragons. Some may quit, some may stay. New players are coming. I start seeing a lot of questions about very basic things. So this gives me hope that new players actually come to the game, which is a great feeling. Not gonna lie, it's a great feeling to get it asked questions, and you have a struggles back in the days with these things, and somebody's having the same struggles, and you can actually provide some information. Because when I started playing Call of Dragons, there was not much information. I was in the global launch. I mean, there was a people who was in the beta. I think Mr. Sneaky was from the beta. Meower was also in the beta. Not so sure about the hoax then. But yeah, I started actually watching Mr. Sneaky videos back in the days. He was the only media there. And yeah. About the resources, maybe this is also very important topic, especially tier 4 against tier 5, is at some point, especially for the tier 4, everything is going to end up about the resources if you finish your elixirs. And I think here the tier 4 have great advantage. What I mean by that is just cost less. It's 2.5 times less. And I'm not going to talk about the mana, how expensive is the tier 5 troops from point of mana. And tier 4 is not like this. That's why I keep, for example, my infantry tier 4. The main reason behind is just the tier 4 don't request that much resources. And if I spend my elixirs on my tier 5, my Celestials and Vestos, mostly over my Celestials, I run like 1 or 2 legions that is Vestos. Main reason is 20% HP, the buff that they're going to give. But in general, yeah, I save my resources for tier 4, even though that I'm tier 5 player. And I think at some point is great advantage, especially if you have some good heroes. I run Margaret Zeta, and Margaret is like 5-1-1, and my Zeta is like 5-1-1-1. With tier 4 marksmans, this combo is not performing like my Lilia Thea or Bertrand Tocher, but is the difference is very small. And my Lilia Thea is awakened 6-star. Bertrand Tocher awakened 6-star. Margaret Zeta, Margaret I think is like 3-star. Zeta is maybe 4-star. So you can see that with good heroes, you can definitely make a change in your gameplay. And yeah, I think maybe this is the places where free to play players should actually focus, or tier 4, maybe tier 4 players to be more precise, should focus over just good heroes. Good heroes can make a game changing on the battle. And this is the main reason I make videos about heroes. It's just at some point you're going to hit your building, at some point you're going to hit your researches, and you're going to end up just with heroes and troops. The only thing you can actually do is making more troops or getting artifacts or getting heroes. And here's the thing: artifacts, from what I know, is not giving merit. And you want to be competitive player. And how competitive players actually compete is with merits. It's with merits. I have seen even people who get rally just to get some more merits. Crazy stuff. I mean, they're going to get dead legions. Of course, they don't let everybody rally them and get bad trades. But this is also one of the ways you can get merits. You just let the enemy rally you, and after the first rally or at the middle of the rally, you can just put a shield, and you're going to get decent merits for this. You're going to you're going to lose troops, but at the end of the season, 50. If you go in the seasonal towns, you're going to have even 53% troops back. So I don't know. Different worlds, different people. This is what I can actually say. One of the things that lately I get asked a lot, and this is about farming. Of course, people start struggle with resources, even if you have some speed ups. It actually never happened to me to have speed ups but not have resources, because the first 2 seasons I was extreme with the gathering. I was always in the top 5 with the gathering, and there was my competition. Because here's the thing: at the beginning, if you do a lot of PvP, especially in the season 1, you're going to get back with you're going to get slowed down with your building, with your researches in general, with your progress. And especially if you're at places where you can actually get to rally, people get your resources and stuff like this, because you're not going to have a very big storehouse, I think, warehouse, remember, where the resources is protected. So I think the first 1 or 2 seasons was extremely important just to build your castle. Just slow down. You're going to have opportunity after 2 seasons to fight till you play Call of Dragons. And here's the thing: things is going to go bad. What I mean by that is you're going to not only fight, but you have to, if you're in competitive alliance, you have to cover a specific number of merits. Now, most of the alliances are using something like 10% from your power. So if you're like 40 million, you have to make 4 million merits. If you're like me, 90 million, you have to make 9 million merits. Something like this. I don't know from where this 10% actually come, but when I think about it, it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. You have 40 million youth cannot actually make 10 million merits. It's not going to be the same for everybody. But definitely a whale that is 200 million better have 20 million as a merit. But yeah, farming is something that I hope now nobody actually touch their resources when they fight. But sometimes the conditions put you in this situation where you have to actually use resources. My last season was something like till the last 2 weeks of the season. I was having like, okay, last two, yeah, I think last two. I was having like 2 million merits. Just there was just no fights, and Kov betray us. We end up 4 kingdoms against 4 zones against, no, 2 zones against 4, and from there start one crazy healing. It was wild, and it was not only on my side. Everybody from BTR was going to heal themselves and try to protect something that we didn't actually care that much, because at the end of the day, Kof and Woe was the alliances that was going to fight for the dragon. We was happy with one necro giant. We was like 88 people, so we didn't actually expect a lot from this season. But at the end, the season get really spicy, and where this is the moment where the resources actually hit very hard, and only the people who was having the resources. It was one dude, I remember him. It was like, I finished my woods. I still have mana, but I don't have woods. and, and everything happened extremely fast because the betrayal was coordinated and everybody started building like crazy. So it's not like you're fighting against one alliance till the other understand what is happening or start putting some PMs, yo, dude, what you're doing or something. I think everybody was actually knowing what was happening and everybody rushed to the final zone. So there was not something like a splitting on the enemy. Everybody jumped on us. So yeah, resources. After this, you're going to need them a lot. But at the beginning, especially for developing your castle, I think is just the best way to go like this. Just farm resources, do the events, help your alliance, and don't over focus over PvP. It's my suggestion for you. And since we're talking about the healing, is how to actually do the healing, not break your resources. Because you don't want to spend all of your resources on the day one. It's going to be stupid. And after this, just sitting and watch how people are playing. This is something that nobody want to experience, and here is how I do it. Now normally people, how the normal people are doing that and how I do, because yeah, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a little different. But here's the thing: normal people is when they fight with 5 legions, their stuffs or resources or elixir or whatever use, so they start going out with 4 legions, 3 legions, 2 legions, 1 legion. You get the idea. Just by reducing their troop they have in the hospital, they reduce the amount of legions there on the battlefield. And back in the days, I was doing that way also. But right now, the strategy I do, how I fight the PvP, is I go out with 5 legions. I'm always on the battlefield with 5 legions, and I'm extremely careful how I fight with my 5. First, I'm not wasting my time. This is very important when, especially when you're limited on time, because I also go to work. I also have wife at home and other stuffs I want to do. So, and I also make YouTube videos. I make YouTube videos for not only for Cow of Dragons, and I have other channels. So you can imagine that I'm pretty busy person. So the way I go is with 5 legion, and I have in advance elixirs. When I have elixirs, 2 legions, this is the moment I go. And the cases where I do some resource healing, if is if the enemy is actually breaking us, if the enemy is overpowering us, this is the moment where I use my resources. Rest of the fights is when we overpower the enemy. I just fight till I have elixir. After this, I stop fighting. I go back to the zone one and I start do some farming. But since when you have to defend, you have to care. When you have to defend, you have to care. If you see the enemy is way too weak, it's just pointless for you. Just your buddies is going to finish the work. I mean, I know if you're from B tier watching this video, you're going to, oh my god, Burgos is not doing nothing or something like this. But yeah, this is how I manage my resources. And I don't do some resource healing just because I finish my troops. I see if we're winning, it's pointless for me to touch my resources. But if it's hard days and the enemy is overpowering, yeah, as I said, something that experienced this season, I touch my resources and I fight to the end. Yeah, if the fight is not that competitive, I just go back and farm resources. And this is how you can actually manage your resources. Always go with 5 legions. This is my suggestion. Just going to start be more careful because if you get catched by a cavalry, you get catched by whatever, and everything go in the hospital, you know you're not going to play. You're not going to be with 5 legions. So you can go with 2 legions, but you're going to start having this feeling that you're wasting your time with 2 legions, and you're like, my god, we get absolutely crazy trades here. We fight under a last territory, but I was having only 2 legions. These legions make great, but it was just 2 legions, and I start getting this feeling, which is not something very very good to experience. So this is maybe the strategy I do about the resources, how to not break my resources. Is of course strongly depending on conditions and how I fight in general in Call of Dragons. I get a lot of questions also about troop composition, some from free to play players. Mostly people are curious how you can actually survive as a free to play player, and sometimes it's not that easy. Not gonna lie, it's not that easy. Even some of the comments where I just talk about how you can do something great and people laugh of this when it's about the free to play players, but definitely if you're if you have the knowledge, if you have the persistence and the belief, you have the belief you can actually achieve something good, you're going to achieve something good in Call of Dragons. This apply in every aspect of the life. You just have to believe. You have to think, okay, they catch me. How they not catch me next time? Okay, I did less merit. Why? Because Margaret Zeta catch one of my mages and kill it so fast. So I better be back and actually attack infantry. And this is one of the strategy I can actually suggest free to play players. Just stay back, stay back. When the infantry jump over your infantry, at the beginning is always the fight of the infantry and who have the better infantry. Just attack the infantry. I know Goreskogo is pain to attack it, but sometimes it's not Goreskogo. I see Garwutiliana, which is pure meat shield. I see also Madeline. I mean, if you're tier 5, huge well, you have just one Goresh. Not like you can go out with 5 Goresh legions. So there is not everything Goresh Kogo. Still, I think till these days, Goresh Mogro is maybe one of the best legions. Goresh Kogo was more anti-range, but Goresh Mogro make the enemy infantry like papers, and not because Mogro is doing crazy amount of damage, but in general applying this spell that increased damage. I forgot. Oh no, HP reduction. Sorry, HP reduction. The other one was for Downfeld. So you can actually count on Gore's Kogo that is going to kill the enemy infantry on the battlefield. And here's the thing: the moment one of the infantry the battlefield win, this is the moment where if you win on the battlefield, the enemy is going to start running, and from there come the charges, catching legions, blink, infantry blink. You're going to do huge amount of damage. So if you're free to play player and thinking how to make more merits, this is the way I can actually suggest. Just go with Gorish. Um, just attack the infantry with your ranged legion. And yeah, I think this is going to be for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, hit one like, subscribe. If you want to become a member and support my channel, you can get some extra benefits, and see you in the next video.